Hello student, today's topic to be discussed is adventure-based outdoor program, rhythmic and dance activities. Introduction. Without rhythmic activities and dance, adapted physical education is meaningless. Rhythmic and dance activities often provides opportunities not only to improve motor skills but also to have fun and gain valuable learning experience in solving problems and creative expressions. Typically, dance is a part of the physical education which includes three movement forms. It is rhythmic movements, creative education in dance, that is CED, and structured dance, that is a folk and social dance. In most cases, these forms are taught separately. This link includes movement principles that relate to balance, transfer of weight, and alignment, as well as to such movement concepts as time, space, and force. The degree of emphasis of these principles and concepts differ among movement forms, but its content can lead into other supporting and strengthening students' development in the other two forms. It is important to note differences as well as the common abilities between the dance therapy and education used in students with unique differences. First, the overall purpose of each is strictly different. Whereas dance therapy is psychotherapeutic use of movement focus on emotional as well as the physical integration of individuals and aesthetic needs of students with and without disabilities. Any student who moves rhythmically can release tension both physically and psychologically and thus derive therapeutic benefit. Next point to be discussed is rhythmic and dance activities curriculum of age-appropriate contents. Free form of movements, rhythmic movements, creative education in dance, and structured dance contains age-appropriate content, but each form can be extended or simplified to accommodate a range of age and ability level. CED considered most applicable to kindergarten through 5th grade, but by extending CED content to focus on progressively more complex form for creative expression, teacher can easily adapt the content for 6th to 8th grade students. Structured or pattern dance content might be considered the most age appropriate for upper elementary and middle school students, but many folk dance are easily modified for kindergarten students, although some other social dance are age appropriate for middle school students. Selection of the age appropriate content are guided primarily by practical information about the developmental needs as well as the social behavior and interests of the student. For an overview of the general order of the dance forms suggested by K through 12 in regard to traditional age appropriate dance contents, Kissing and the J's 2003 present the sequence as for the creative movement and dance, it will start from preschool, kindergarten to lower primary. For the modern dance, it will start from upper primary, middle school and goes up to high school. For the jazz dance, it will start from middle school to high school. For the ballet dance, it will start from middle school to the high school. And for the tape dance, it will start from preschool, kindergarten, goes lower primary, upper primary, middle schools, and it goes to high school. For the square dance, it will start from upper primary, middle school, up to high school. For the contra dance, it will start from upper primary, goes middle schools, up to high school. For the social dance, it will start from middle schools to high school. And the last, the aerobic dance will start from middle schools to high school. Next points to be discussed is rhythmic movements. In dance, rhythm is the most persuasive and most powerful element. Humphrey, 1980. The primary purpose of a rhythmic movement program is to provide opportunities for students to become competent in moving to various rhythmic patterns. In their simplest form, rhythmic movement can be described as a balance of contracting and expanding movement that are connected and repeated, such as inhaling and exhaling. When two movements are connected and repeatedly performed, a rhythm is created. As an integrant part of the movement, rhythm can be said to characterize the equality of movement for several reasons, such as lack of appropriate rhythmic experience, poor concentration, and physical differences. Some children might appear to lack the sense of rhythm. When students experience difficulty in moving rhythmically or in time, their movement often appear choppy or awkward. In truth, a sense of rhythm can be developed and refined through carefully selecting appropriate rhythmic activities that offer fun as well as challenging opportunities and result in feeling of accomplishment. When individuals develop a refined sense of rhythm, the quality of their movement reflects these changes. The topic under this, it will contain rhythmic movement program. The essential content of a rhythmic program includes 4 elements, that is pulse, tempo, accent and patterns. The term rhythmic pattern cannot vary in rhythm and present a level of complexity not found in pulse, tempo and accent. For example, if a rhythmic pattern is composed of a group of the 4 steady beats, a combination of the 2 or more different tempos would be included within the 4 beats. Translating this into movement, this 4-count rhythmic pattern can include the 2 walking steps, such as count 1 and 2, and 4 counting running steps, count 3 and 4. Locomotive patterns such as galloping, sliding, rolling and skipping can be used in example of replacing and walking steps, count 1 and 2, with the new locomotive pattern followed by the 4 running steps, that is count 3 and 4. After the teacher's guide practice combining movement of the different tempos to match a group of set beats, students should be encouraged to create their own rhythmic patterns using other movements. Speaking rhythmically. The beginning signal given by a teacher or student leader is traditionally a barbell cue, presented in a fashion described as speaking rhythmically. The instructor speaks loudly, clearly, and rhythm with the beat of the activity. An example of speaking rhythmically would be counting as introductory set of the 8 beats and ending the set of count with verbalizing 5, 6 ready, and instructions given during the activity for changing the task must be announced before the change is to be taken place. For example, the instructor would say 5, 6 ready change. For students with auditory difficulties, verbal cueing must be accompanied by visual cues. In these classes, simple hand responses such as beating in time with the tempo of the activity can be easily added. Suggestion for the different individuals of the rhythmic movement. The following suggestions apply to any groups of students who need to increase awareness of internal rhythm and develop awareness of the external rhythmic patterns. This might include not only the students with severe disabilities, but also students who appear to lack a sense of rhythm. Lack of sense of rhythm, lack of appropriate rhythmic experiences, poor concentration and physical differences can hinder rhythmic abilities. Initially, this student might demonstrate difficulty moving to an external rhythm. Teachers can begin working with rhythms that originate from the student themselves by encouraging students to explore non-locomotor and locomotor movement at their own speed before introducing activities that require moving in synchronize with external beats. One teaching strategy for students who need to develop beginning rhythmic awareness is to match these students with peer or cross-age tutor. Matching students, that is with or without disabilities, with partner require careful consideration of many variables, including level of maturity of the student preference, body weight, and the level of rhythmic ability. In regards to students using wheelchairs, teachers might ask selected peers to attend an introductory classes so that partner can be introduced to each other and the strength of each student can be emphasized. To actively engage and foster responses of the student with severe cognitive and physical disabilities in rhythmic movement, the following steps are suggested. Number 1. Focus attention, secure eyes contact. Number 2. Provide opportunity for passive movement. Number 3. Provide opportunities for mirroring movements of a partner. Number 4. Provide opportunities for creating original movement responses. Clarify the objectives for classes is a crucial step in developing a rhythmic program. This might be based on national curriculum guides, state or locally developed guideline, or knowledge of typical development. The objective of the beginning rhythmic movement sample lessons were based on typical rhythmic development. The activities included in the sample lessons were adopted from a program designed for middle school students with severe differences. Boswell and Bedrit, 1993. Even though the original discussion, Boswell and Bedrit, 1993, focus on students with severe cognitive and physical disabilities. The activities lend themselves to wider range of adaptation. The next point to be discussed is the creative education in dance. Creative education in dance can be defined as a movement form that focus on refining natural movements as the student explore the elements of movement. It is space, time, force, and the body. In this discussion, an integral part of CED is creating dance through problem solving. As the student learn and master the content, they begin to create the dances that communicate idea or theme. One of the joys of CED for students comes from giving to their natural movement so that they can communicate ideas as they perform their dance for their peer. There are many avenues through which one can approach the process of creating dances. Several terms have been used to describing programs that focus on exploration of the space, time, and force. Related terms including movement education, creative movement, and creative dance. Casing and Zay 2003 summarize the history of these related dance forms, highlighting the influence of Margaret Ives Dobler and Rudolf Lavan. Although this term might stress different aspects of exploration of the element and emphasize the different outcomes, regardless of what title they are given. This approach provides as appropriate movement and the dance form, other art form, and in physical education. Teaching style about this. The teacher poses questions that encourage the student to analyze and explore the body and movement concept. For example, the teachers might ask, can you jump higher if you use a different body shape? The heart of its CED lesson is this context. Exploration is defined as a systematic investigation, examination, search for making specific discoveries and learning about something. The process of exploration of CED content is filled with improvisation, which is defined as spontaneously responding to a stimulus or invention without preparation. In CED lessons, exploration is repeated with questions and movement problem, also termed assignment, that require students to consider possible spontaneous responses and then select one of the responses to include in the dance. Specifically, in implementing the exploration, teachers present questions and guide students in using improv as a strategy for exploring. For example, teacher asks the student, what body part can make an angular shape like the letter S? Now, how can you create a different angular S shape with a different body part? Select one of these shapes and explore making that shape at different level. Clearly, there are different levels of improvisation. Teachers can pose highly specified questions that offer few options, or they can ask the questions that are completely free and open-ended. Content of these points. The heart of CED is exploring the element of movement, space, time, force, and body. Space, time, and force are concepts that allow us to think about and to analyze the movement. These concepts as well as the body are considered four of the basic elements of movement and as such provide a rich content of CED. Now, next subtopic to be discussed is a structured dance. Building on knowledge and skill gain in rhythmic activities and CED, students can discover the joy of learning structure or pattern dances. Structured dance, as the term implies, have specific sequences of steps. The term structure, pattern, and the recreational dance can be used interchangeably and include many types of dances such as international folk dance, heritage dance, contemporary line dance, and social dance. The degree of structure of this type of dance varies greatly from dance to dance. Many folk dances are characterized by a basic step and have a common figure or movement design performed by two or more persons. Structured dance also have a range of group formations such as circle, line, sequence, arrangement, and diverse musical accompaniment. When high school students have opportunities to increase their skill and confidence in social dance, they experience dance as a lifelong physical activity that provides social as well as the physical benefit throughout their lives. Learning a structured dance should be accomplished in a minimum amount of time and result in a feeling of accomplishment. Variations of locomotors and non-locomotors movements previously experienced in rhythmic activities and CED are the basic ingredients. It is a natural progression from exploring running with a partner to learning a structured dance that use running as the basic step. It is also a natural progression from exploring ways to traveling using a wheelchair with a partner to discovering way of moving together to learn a structured dance. Approaching the process of teaching structured dance with a problem-solving perspective can contribute to the fun of modifying a dance and the awareness of the importance inclusion. As a form of recreational dance, participation in structured dance offers lifetime health and social benefits. Moving in unison with others to music should be fun activities that students return to with pleasure and develop as a meaningful lifetime physical activity. Also, learning international folk dances provide excellent opportunities for students to increase their understanding of other culture. Contents of this subtheme: the basic non-locomotor bend, react, twist, and the locomotor walk, jump, run, hop, and lift. Movement pattern from the basic materials of the structural dance. Combination of these locomotors movement produce the gallop, slide, and skip. Many references for folk dance classify the dances according to the basic steps used. One of the guidelines for selecting a structured dance in light of the developmental level of the student is that the steps should already be a part of the student, movement reporter, and one that can participate. The movement content of the dance should match the developmental level of the student to ensure that the class can learn the dance easily and practice it quickly with a sense of enjoyment and accomplishment. Conclusion of this topic. Rhythmic and dance activity are powerful content area for developing creative expression, problem solving, and motor skills of the student with and without disabilities. Rhythmic movement is a beginning of the dance. These three movement form, it is rhythmic movement, creative education in dance, and structural dance provide opportunities for the student to refine their abilities to communicate through movements. It also provides opportunities for teachers to re-envision movements associated with disabilities as a potential source of artistic materials. Let us conclude with these points. Thank you very much.